Mama Ovi, I can't have this child. Is there any way you can help me? Mama Ovi, a woman of wisdom and experience, looked at her with a mix of sympathy and caution. My dear, at this stage, getting rid of the baby would be too risky. It could cost you your life. Zara's heart pounded in fear and helplessness. She had no idea what to do. Just as she was about to burst into tears, Mama Ovi spoke again, her tone calm but firm. If you truly don't want the child, there is another way. There are people who would pay handsomely for a healthy newborn. Zara blinked, stunned. Sell the baby? Once upon a time, in a faraway village, there lived a girl named Zara. She was born and raised in Choba, a modest village surrounded by rolling green hills. She was known for her striking beauty and kind heart, always eager to lend a helping hand. Zara's father worked tirelessly on their small farm, battling the dry season to feed his family. Her mother was a trader selling vegetables and handmade crafts in the bustling village market. Despite their struggles, their home was filled with love. Zara was a bright student. She walked to school every day with her best friends, always eager to learn. Her teachers adored her, and every week, the headmaster would smile and say, Zara, you are the pride of this school. And then will hand her a gift, a small school bag. Her dream was to build a better life for her family, but fate had other plans. As Zara grew older, she became close to a girl named Mamuna. Mamuna wasn't as bright in school, nor was she the most well-mannered, but she had something that fascinated Zara. She always had nice clothes, new shoes, and expensive perfumes. One afternoon, Zara finally asked, Mamuna, where do you get all these things from? Mamuna grinned and lowered her voice. I have a special friend. He takes care of me. Zara frowned. What do you mean? With a smile, Mamuna whispered, I keep him company, and he gives me whatever I want. It's easy. Zara gasped. But what if you get pregnant? Mamuna chuckled. Don't be silly. I know how to handle that. Zara felt uneasy but kept quiet. She trusted Mamuna and didn't want to lose her friendship. One day, Zara met Jide, a charming and hardworking palm wine tapper. His smile was warm, his laughter infectious, and soon, Zara found herself drawn to him. Their friendship blossomed into something deeper. One evening, in a moment of weakness, Zara gave in to her emotions. Weeks later, her world came crashing down. She was pregnant. Terrified, she rushed to Jide, hoping for support. But when she told him, his face darkened. That's not my child, he scoffed before walking away. Zara felt her heart shatter. She was alone. Without telling her parents, Zara was sent to Adu, a town known for its skill training centers. She was supposed to learn a trade, but all she could think about was her unborn child. In desperation, she visited Mama Ovi, her auntie who was a midwife hoping for a way out. That was when she first heard about selling her baby. Mama Ovi, I can't have this child. Is there any way you can help me? Mama Ovi, a woman of wisdom and experience, looked at her with a mix of sympathy and caution. My dear, at this stage, getting rid of the baby would be too risky. It could cost you your life. Zara's heart pounded in fear and helplessness. She had no idea what to do. Just as she was about to burst into tears, Mama Ovi spoke again, her tone calm but firm. If you truly don't want the child, there is another way. There are people who would pay handsomely for a healthy newborn. At first, the idea horrified her. But the more she thought about it, the more it made sense. She had no way to care for a child, but with the money from the sale, she could start over. Finally, she nodded. Okay. I'll do it. Months later, Zara gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. She looked at the tiny face and felt nothing. No love, no connection, only the weight of her decision. She handed the baby over to Mama Ovi, who exchanged the child for a heavy pouch of gold coins and jewelry. As Zara stared at the riches in her hands, she didn't think about the life she had just given away. Instead, she saw a new opportunity. This is easier than learning a trade, she thought. I can make more money by selling babies. And so, instead of learning a skill, Zara had a different plan, getting pregnant over and over again. She had realized that as long as she could keep having babies, she could continue selling them for money. To her, there was nothing morally wrong with it. In her mind, it was simply a shortcut to wealth. It didn't take long before Zara became pregnant again, this time by a man named F. He was just another man in a due town, and when Zara told him she was expecting his child, he reacted just like Jide had before him. F shook his head and said, "That's not my child, Zara. I want nothing to do with this." But instead of feeling worried or sad, Zara was delighted. Her mind was already racing with thoughts of the money she would make from selling this child too. Without wasting any time, she rushed to Mama Ovi's hut, bursting with excitement. "Mama Ovi, I'm pregnant again," she announced, almost dancing with joy. Mama Ovi, with a kind but stern expression, looked at her with concern. "Zara, you must be careful. Selling babies is not something to take lightly. It will lead you down a dangerous path." But Zara didn't want to hear it. She smiled and said, "This is my way of making a fortune, Mama. I won't stop. It's the easiest way to get rich." Mama Ovi sighed. She knew Zara was stubborn, and there was no convincing her otherwise. So, just like before, she helped Zara through the pregnancy. After 9 months, Zara gave birth to a healthy baby boy. His loud cries filled the hut as he entered the world. But Zara didn't feel the urge to hold him or even glance at him. She already knew the buyers were waiting outside. Without hesitation, she handed the baby to Mama Ovi, who took him to the waiting buyers. This time, the payment was even greater, 2,000 silver pieces and an array of dazzling jewelry, more beautiful than the last batch. Zara was overjoyed. The wealth she had acquired was beyond anything she had ever imagined. She didn't think about the baby she had just sold, only about the riches she was accumulating. As she admired her growing collection of gold and fine ornaments, a sense of power washed over her. She believed she had unlocked the ultimate path to success, and nothing else mattered. Determined to continue, Zara followed the same pattern, getting pregnant, selling the baby, and collecting wealth. With each sale, her fortune grew, and soon, she was living in luxury in a Jew town. She had the finest clothes, the most exquisite jewelry, and anything else she desired. But as Zara's riches increased, so did Mama Ovi's unease. One evening, Mama Ovi sat her down and said, "Zara, you must stop this. These are your own children, your own blood. You are selling away your future." Zara only laughed and waved her hand dismissively. "Don't worry, Mama Ovi. There are plenty more children inside me. As long as I keep having them, I'll keep making money this way, and no one can stop me." No matter how many times Mama Ovi warned her, Zara refused to listen. She was too blinded by her wealth, too addicted to the luxury it provided. She had convinced herself that this was the perfect way to live. She even sent money and expensive gifts back to her parents in Choba village, who were amazed at how successful she had become. They never questioned where the money came from, they were simply proud of their daughter's achievements. By the time Zara decided to return to her hometown, she had sold 15 of her babies, each transaction making her wealthier than before. She never once thought about the children she had given away or the warnings she had ignored. All that mattered was the luxury she had secured for herself. When Zara finally arrived in Choba, her childhood village, she looked so different that even her parents did not recognize her at first. She wore the finest clothing, her skin glowed, and her expensive jewelry sparkled under the sun. The villagers gathered around her in amazement, whispering among themselves. "Who is this elegant woman?" they murmured, unable to believe she was the same Zara who had left years ago. It was Mamuna, Zara's childhood friend, who first recognized her. "Zara, is that really you?" Mamuna cried, running to embrace her. The entire village erupted in celebration. They admired Zara's transformation, believing she had done well for herself. With the vast wealth she had acquired, Zara built a grand mansion for herself and renovated her parents' home, making it the most luxurious house in the village. Her parents beamed with pride, thinking their daughter had become successful through hard work. Despite her riches, Zara lived alone in her extravagant home, enjoying the comfort that her wealth provided. The men in Choba were captivated by her beauty and success, eager to marry her. They saw her as a prize, hoping to share in her wealth. But Zara turned them all down. "I don't need a husband," she would say with a confident smile. She believed she had everything: money, admiration, and influence. What more could she possibly need? As time passed, Zara's parents grew concerned. Though proud of her financial success, they believed marriage and children were the true sources of happiness. One day, her mother gently said, "My daughter, you have everything, but you are alone. A husband and children would complete your joy." For the first time, Zara felt uncertain. Perhaps her parents were right. Soon after, she met Deo, a wealthy and well-respected man from a neighboring village. He was kind, charming, and seemed to genuinely care for Zara. They spent time together, and before she knew it, Deo proposed. Hoping that marriage would bring her fulfillment, she accepted. Their wedding was a huge one, with the entire village in attendance. Music, dancing, and feasting filled the air, and everyone admired the beautiful couple. Zara felt a newfound happiness and was hopeful about the future. Months turned into years, yet Zara remained childless. Deo's mother, eager for grandchildren, began pressuring her. "Why haven't you given us a child yet, Zara? A wife's duty is to bear children for her husband." Zara tried to stay hopeful, but as time passed, the pressure intensified. One day, Deo's mother lost her patience. She stormed into their home, her voice sharp with anger. "Zara, you are barren. My son needs a wife who can give him children. You must leave." Zara was heartbroken. She loved Deo and didn't want to leave, but his mother's words were final. With tears in her eyes, she packed her belongings and returned to her mansion, alone and defeated. Her once perfect life had shattered. For the first time, she realized that all the riches in the world couldn't fill the emptiness of being childless. Zara hoped to remarry, thinking she could still find happiness with another man. But no suitor stayed for long. Word spread quickly throughout the village: Zara could not have children. The same men who had once pursued her now kept their distance. One day, an unexpected visitor arrived at her home. Jide, the man she had first been involved with before leaving Choba, stood at her doorstep. His face was serious as he demanded, "Zara, where is my child? The baby you carried when you left?" Zara's heart pounded. She couldn't admit what she had done, so she lied. "I lost the baby, Jide. I had a miscarriage," she whispered. Jide looked at her with suspicion but left without another word. Days later, 2 more men appeared at her home, each asking the same painful question. "Where is my child?" Zara repeated her lie, "I lost the baby. I had a miscarriage." But secrets never stay buried for long. A villager who had been eavesdropping knew the truth. Unable to contain the revelation, exposed Zara's dark past to the fathers of the missing children. "She didn't lose your babies," the villager revealed. "She sold them. She has been selling her children to get rich." The news spread so quickly, and rage filled the hearts of the villagers. The men, now knowing the truth, returned to Zara's house, this time with the angry villagers. "Give us back our children, Zara," they demanded. "If you don't, we will burn your house to the ground." Zara stood frozen, her once proud heart now gripped with terror. The life she had built, the wealth she had hoarded, none of it mattered anymore. The villagers, who once admired her, now looked at her with disgust and fury. Realizing she had no choice, Zara embarked on a desperate journey back to Adu, the town where she had sold her children. She went straight to Mama Ovi, the midwife who had assisted her in the transactions. "Mama Ovi, please help me find my children. If I don't bring them back, the villagers will destroy everything." Mama Ovi sighed deeply. "I warned you, Zara. But now, you must face the consequences of your greed." Reluctantly, the midwife handed her a piece of paper with the addresses of the buyers. "These are the people who took your children. But be warned, most will never return them. And once you leave here, never come back." Desperate, Zara traveled from town to town, knocking on doors, begging for her children back. But her pleas fell on deaf ears. Some families denied ever knowing her, while others refused to return the children they had raised as their own. Defeated, Zara returned to Choba, filled with shame. The villagers were waiting. They no longer cared about the gold and jewels she once flaunted. Her parents, devastated, could not believe what their daughter had done. They were filled with regrets for not checking on their daughter when she left. Overcome with grief, Zara's mother fell ill and passed away. Her father, too ashamed to face the community, disowned her. In an act of repentance, Zara gave away all her wealth and her mansion. But the villagers rejected her offerings, unwilling to accept anything tainted by her dark past. Left with nothing but guilt, Zara sold everything and donated the money to the poor. With only a small bag, she left the village, carrying nothing but her sorrow and regret. She settled at the edge of town, far from the life of luxury she once knew. She lived in solitude, haunted by memories of the children she had sold and the life she had destroyed. Though she found a piece of peace in her isolation, the loneliness never left her. Her story became a lesson for generations to come. Parents would warn their children. Remember Zara, the woman who traded her own blood for gold. Remember her, and never make the same mistake. Zara lived out the remainder of her days in seclusion, her heart burdened with regret. As she sat at the edge of the village, she hoped that her tale would serve as a lesson, guiding others away from the missteps she had made. She eventually understood that genuine wealth was not found in gold or gems but in the affection and life she had once overlooked. If you found this story engaging, please support the video by giving it a like, share your thoughts in the comments section, and subscribe to the channel for more enthralling tales. Thank you.